Do you know that most of today's rappers take their inspiration from one little band called OutKast?
Yeah, international underground thunderbounds when I stop the ground. Sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, I am for real.
The style, the freedom to be weird, and all of it started with them. Before it was cool to mix rap with funk, rock, jazz, and other shit, or dress wild and talk about philosophy, OutKast was already doing it. Two kids from Atlanta who didn't just want to make hits, they wanted to build a whole world. They were weird, stylish, and poetic, and somehow still had the streets on lock. They made being different feel powerful. And then, almost like they knew they already said everything they needed, they vanished. There was no beef, no scandal, and no tragic ending, leaving behind a legacy that still feels bigger than anything since. So today, we'll be diving into how OutKast became OutKast, how they changed hip-hop forever, and why two of the most creative minds in music decided to walk away while they were still untouchable. Chapter 1, the start. Alright, let's take it back to Atlanta, Georgia in the early 90s. Back then, the South wasn't really on the hip-hop map. New Yorkers had their bars, LA had the gangster rap, and the South, they were barely getting heard. Then along came two kids, Andre Benjamin and Antoine Patton, or as the world would come to know of them as Andre 3000 and Big Boi. They met at the Free Cities High School, and personality-wise, they couldn't have been more different. Andre was an artsy kid that was into fashion and strange sounds. And Big Boi was smooth, confident, and all about classic funk energy. But when they started making rap together, it just clicked. At first they called themselves Two Shades Deep. Then they changed it to OutKast, because honestly, that's what they were. Two outsiders trying to prove themselves in a world that didn't take Southern rap seriously yet. Before long, they caught the attention of Organized Noise, a local production team tied to LaFace Records, and that connection changed everything. In 1994, these two teenagers dropped their debut, Southern playlistic Cadillac Music. But the sound completely fresh for those times. It was funky, soulful, full of that Southern drawl, and it had meaning. They weren't just talking about parties. They were talking about the South, about pride, struggles, and the dreams. And then Players Ball hit the MTV, and that was it. Atlanta boys officially arrived. Chapter 2, the South has something to say. Fast forward to 1995, the Source Awards. East Coast versus the West Coast, tension was peaking.
Y'all don't love us! Well, let it be known then.
OutKast wins the best new rap group, and they were booed.
Well, what the hell? How you gonna get booed and you just won best new artist?
It was pretty brutal to just be in a room full of people that don't even really care about what you do.
And that's when Andre grabs the mic and says,
But it's like this, though. I'm tired of folks, you know what I'm saying? Them closed-minded folks, you know what I'm saying? It's like we got a demo tape and don't nobody want to hear, but it's like this, the South got something to say. That's all I got to say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
the South has something to say. That one line became a prophecy. From that point on, they didn't just make music for the South. They made music about the South in a way that made everyone listen. Their next album, ATLiens, dropped in '96. The sound totally different, spacey, introspective, ethereal. They weren't just players anymore. They were philosophers from another planet. Around this time, something changed for André. In the album's lyrics, he even declares,
"No drugs or alcohol so I can get the signal clear."
Quits weed and alcohol, embraced vegetarian, then vegan lifestyle, and started focusing on his spiritual self. His purpose shifted. Then came Aquemini in '98, the perfect blend of Big Boi's street storytelling and André's cosmic poetry. As the album, critics still rage over like it's a religious text. And by the time Stankonia hit
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
in 2000, OutKast was untouchable. Why? Well, what the fuck? Because Miss Jax. So fresh, so clean. B.O.B. Every song hit different corners of the culture. They proved that hip-hop could be loud, experimental, and even beautiful and still go platinum. What's crazy is, even though they were a duo, you could already sense their creative split growing. André was getting reckless, chasing something more abstract, where Big Boi was doubling down on the funk, the bounce, and the swagger. But somehow, that tension made the music better. Chapter 3, the double album that broke everything. Then came the Speaker Box / The Love Below in 2003. Each of them made their own album, released as one. Nobody had done it like that before. Big Boi's Speaker Box was a funky and confident, pure South hip-hop at its best. André's The Love Below was a philosophical R&B fever dream about love, sex, and self-discovery. It was weird. It was genius. It was OutKast. And then boom, Hey Ya happened.
My homies told me, like, after I finished Hey Ya and I played it for him, he said, "Man, if you put that out, man, your career is over."
That song was everywhere. You couldn't escape it. Weddings, malls, radio, MTV, but it was more than a hit. It was a proof that André 3000 had completely transcended hip-hop. The album went diamond. They won Grammys. They were global superstars. And ironically, that's when it all started falling apart. Chapter 4, the fade out. After Speaker Box / The Love Below, OutKast tried to pivot. In 2006, they released Idlewild, a movie soundtrack combo set in a fictional 1930s version of the South. It was ambitious, but maybe too ambitious. Critics didn't get it. Fans were confused and it didn't hit like their earlier work. And behind the scenes, André was gone. He didn't want to rap anymore. He said he didn't feel inspired.
Where my creative juice is coming from within OutKast, like there was a certain point where I just didn't know where else to go. You know, I didn't, like even now, like people think, oh man, he's just sitting on raps, or like he's just holding these raps hostage. Like I ain't got no raps like that.
Big Boi, on the other hand, still wanted to make music. He loved it, touring, performing, crafting new sounds. But without André, it wasn't really OutKast. They never officially broke up, but after In the Wild, they just stopped. And in a way, that silence made it all clear. Chapter 5, what happened after. So what did they do next? Big Boi stayed grinding. He released solo albums like Sir Lucius Left Foot and Vicious Lies and Dangerous Rumors. Collaborated with everyone from Killer Mike to Pentagram. Dude never lost his rhythm. He's still one of the best rappers alive. And André 3000, he disappeared. No albums, no touring, just occasional features that would shake up the internet every time they dropped. Like the Frank Ocean's Pink Matter or Kanye's Life of the Party. André occasionally shows up once a few years, drops a verse that feels like therapy, then vanishes again. For a while, he even said he had nothing to talk about.
Sometimes it feels inauthentic for me to rap because I don't have anything to talk about in that way. Like I'm 48 years old, and not to say that age is a thing that dictates what you rap about, but in a way it does.
No struggles, no anger, no hunger. And honestly, that's real. Not everyone wants to keep performing once the spark faded. Then out of nowhere in 2023, André comes back with a flute album. Yeah, a flute album. No rapping, just woodwinds, ambient sounds, and existential titles like
The first song is called I Swear I Really Wanted to Make a Rap Album, rap in quotation marks, but this is literally the way the wind blew me this time.
People were shocked. Some loved it, some laughed about it. But it was a pure André, doing exactly what he wanted, nothing else. And André doesn't want to make music for someone else. He just made an album for himself. Chapter 6, why they stopped and why it's okay.
Andre 3000!
In the flash.
Big Boi is right over there! Big Boi!
Bitch, I'm trying to read a book.
So why did they stop making music together? A simple answer,
People grow apart.
creatively. The deeper answer, they finished their story. Think about it. OutKast came up at the time when South had no voice. They gave it one. They showed that hip-hop could be experimental, soulful, even weird, and still move millions. And once they reached the top, what was left to prove? André didn't want it to be trapped by expectations, and Big Boi wanted to keep building. Neither of them was wrong. They just had different callings. But even if they never drop another album, their influence is everywhere. Tyler the Creator, Childish Gambino, Kendrick, and even someone like Lil Nas X. Every artist who mixes rap with melody, fashion, and imagination, that's OutKast's DNA. They made being different cool. And if you really think about it, OutKast never broke up. They just evolved. One kept walking on a path of rhythm, the other flowed away on a cloud of creativity, both still orbiting on the same universe they built together. Chapter 7, The Legacy Lives On. Sometimes I wonder if they'll ever make another album. Big Boi says he's ready when André is. André says probably not. But hey, legends have a way of showing up when you least expect it. And even if it never happens, there are stories already written in stone. They put Atlanta on the map. They turned Southern rap into something the whole world respected. They mixed player talk with poetry, street life with space funk, and somehow it all made sense. They showed that being different wasn't weak. It was the point.
Who do you really want to work with?
I want to work with André 3000.
I think that André 3000 may be the prince. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is so fucking brilliant to me.
Fucking André 3000 call you up and be like, that shit spoke to me.
So yeah, maybe OutKast stopped making music together, but they don't need another album to stay great.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Because OutKast wasn't just a group, it was a moment in time, a reminder how far creativity can go when you don't care about fitting in. And that's why I love this little band called OutKast.